Good evening and welcome once again to Drunk Shakespeare. We undertake Romeo and Juliet in 2021. This was actually our first show back in April of last year, and we are going strong with a fantastic cast that I'm so excited to see what happens with this show tonight. So without further ado, please enjoy Drunk Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet.
Col sole in fronte e felice canto, beatamente voglio vivere e godere l'aria del monte, perché quest'incanto non costa niente. Ah, oggi amo attentamente quel ruscello serpente nelle strette.
Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love and the continuance of their parents' rage doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love and the continuance of their parents' rage, which, but with their children's end not could remove, is now the 2 hours traffic of our stage. The which, if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
Gregory, on my word, will not carry coals.
No, for then we should be colliers.
I mean, and we be in collar, will draw.
Aye, while you live, draw your neck out of a collar.
I strike quickly, being moved.
But thou art not quickly moved to strike.
A dog of the house of Montague moves me.
To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runst away.
A dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's.
That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall.
'Tis true, and therefore women, being the weaker vessels, are ever thrust to the wall. Therefore I will push Montague's men from the wall and thrust his maids to the wall.
The quarrel is between our masters and us, their men.
'Tis all one. I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I will be civil with the maids. I will cut off their heads.
The heads of the maids?
Aye, the heads of the maids, or their maiden heads. Take it in what sense thou wilt.
Thou must take it in sense that feel it.
Me they shall feel, while I am able to stand, and 'tis known I am a very pretty piece of flesh.
'Tis well thou art not fish. If thou hadst been poor John. Draw thy tool. Here comes the house of the Montagues.
My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I will back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run?
Fear me not.
No, Mary, I fear thee.
Let us take the law of our sides. Let them begin.
I will frown as I pass by and let them take it as they list.
Nay, nay, as they dare. I will bite my thumb at them, which is disgrace to them if they bear it.
Oh. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law of our side if I say I?
No.
No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir. But I bite my thumbs, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? Oh, no, sir.
Oh, but if you do, sir, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you.
No better.
Well, sir.
Say better, here comes one of my master's kinsmen.
Yes, better, sir.
You lie.
Draw if you be men. Gregory, remember thy washing blow.
Part, fools. Put up your swords, you know not what you do.
What, art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death.
I do but keep peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me.
What, drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. Have at thee, coward.
What noise is this? Give me my longsword, ho.
A crutch, why call you for a sword?
My sword, I say. Old Montague has come and flourishes his blade in spite of me.
Oh, thy villain, Capulet! Hold me not, let me go!
Thou shalt not stir 1 foot to seek a foe.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbor-stained steel. Will they not hear? What? Ho, you men, you beasts, that quench the fire of your pernicious rage, with purple fountains issuing from your veins. On pain of torture, from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved princess. 3 civil brawls, bred of an airy word, by thee, old Capulet, and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens cast by their grave beseeming ornaments, to wield old partisans in hands as old, cankered with peace, to part your cankered hate. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time, all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go with me. And Montague, come you this afternoon to know our farther pleasure in this case. To old Freetown, our common judgment place. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Who set this ancient quarrel new abroach? Speak, nephew. Were you by when it began?
Here were the servants of your adversary, and yours, close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them, and in the instant came the fiery Tybalt with his sword prepared, which, as he breathed defiance to my ears, he swung about his head and cut the winds, who, nothing hurt withal, hissed him in scorn. While we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and more fought on part and part, till the prince came, who parted either part.
Where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not at this fray.
Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, where underneath the grove of a sycamore, that westward rooteth from this city side, so early walking did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was ware of me, and stole into the covert of the wood. I, measuring his affections by my own, which then must sought where most might not be found, being one too many be my weary self. Pursued by humor, not pursuing his, and gladly shunned who gladly fled from me.
Many a morning hath he there been seen with tears augmenting the fresh morning's dew, adding to clouds more clouds with his deep sighs. But also soon as the all-cheering sun should in the farthest each begin to draw the shady curtains from Aurora's bed, away from light steals home, my heavy son in private in his chamber pens himself, shuts up his windows, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and portentous must his humor prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove.
My noble uncle, do you know the cause?
I neither know it nor can learn of him.
Have you importuned him by any means?
Both by myself and many other friends. But he, his own affections, counselor, is to himself. I would not say how true, but to himself so secret and so close, so far from the sounding and discovery, as is the bud bit with the envious worm, ere he can spread his sweet leaves to the air or dedicate his beauty to the same. Could we but learn from whence these sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as know.
See where he comes. So please you step aside. I'll know his grievance, be or much be denied.
I would thou wert so happy by thy stay to hear truth through shrift. Come, madam, let's away.
Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
But new struck 9.
Ay me, sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having makes them short.
In love?
Out.
Of love?
Out of her favor where I am in love.
Alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof.
Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh, me, what fray was here? Yet tell me not, for I have heard it all. Here's much to do with hate, but more with love. With then, O brawling love, O loving hate, O anything of nothing first create. Heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms. Father of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep that is not what it is. This love feel I that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh?
No, cause I'd rather weep.
Good heart at what?
Aye, thy good heart's oppression.
Why, such is love's transgression. Griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have it pressed with more of thine. This love that thou hast shown doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke made with fume of sighs, being purged of fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, the sea nourished with loving tears. What is it else? Madness, most discreet, choking gall, and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my coz.
Soft, I will go alone. And if you leave me so, you do me wrong.
I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo. He's some otherwhere.
Tell me in sadness, who is it that you love?
Oh, what? Shall I groan and tell thee?
Groan? Why, no. But sadly, tell me who.
A sick man in sadness makes his will. A word ill urged to one that is so ill. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I am so near when I supposed you loved.
Right, good mark, man. She's fair, I love.
All right, fair mark. Fair cuz is soonest hit.
Well, and that hit you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Diane's wit and strong proof of chastity, well armed. From love's weak childish bow, she lives uncharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving terms, nor bide the encounter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lap to saint seducing gold. Oh, she is rich in beauty, only poor that when she dies, with beauty dies her store.
Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste.
She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste. For beauty, starved with severity, cuts beauty off from all posterity. She is too fair, too wise, wisely too fair, to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead, yet live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Oh. Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to call hers exquisite and question more. These happy masks that kiss fair ladies' brows, being black, puts us in mind they hide the fair. He that is stricken blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed at passing fair? Farewell. Thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt.
But Montague is bound as well as I, in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But saying o'er what I have said before, my child is yet a stranger in this world. She hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride.
Younger than she are happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those so early made. The earth hath swallowed up all my hopes but she. She is the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris. Get her heart, my will to consent is but a part. And she agreed within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold a old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such as I love, and you among the score. One more most welcome makes my number more. At my poor house look to behold this night earth-treading stars that make dark heaven light. Such comfort as do lusty young men feel when well-apparelled April on the heel of limping winter treads, even such delight amongst French fennel buds shall you this night inherit at my house. Hear all, see all, and like her most whose merit most shall be, which on more view of many, mine being but one, may stand in number, though in reckoning none. Come, go with me. Go, Sirrah. Indulge and trudge about through fair Verona. Find those persons out whose names are written here, and to them say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Find them out whose names are written here. It is written that the shoemaker should meddle with his yard, and the tailor with the lass, the fisher with his pencil, and the painter with his nets.
Tut, man, one fire burns out another's burning. One pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy and be helped by backward turning. One desperate grief cures another's languish. Take thou some new infection to thy eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
Your plantain leaf is excellent for that.
For what, I pray thee?
For your broken shin.
Why, Romeo, art thou mad?
Not mad, but bound more than a madman is. Shut up in prison, kept without my food, whipped and tormented, and good e'en, good fellow. How are you? I mine own fortune and misery.
Perhaps you've learned it without a book, but I pray, can you read anything you see?
Aye, if I know the letters and the language.
You say honestly, rest you merry.
Stay, fellow, I can read. Signor Martino and his wife and his daughters, County Anselene, and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Vitruvio, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, mine uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline and Livia, Signor Valentio and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio and the lively Helena. A fair assembly, whither should they come?
Up.
Whither? To supper?
To our house.
Whose house?
My master.
Indeed, I should have asked thee that before.
Now I'll tell you without asking. My master is the great witch Capulet, and if you be not of the house of Montagues, I pray come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry.
At this same ancient feast of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye, compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow.
When the devout religion of mine eye maintains such falsehoods, then turns tears to fire, and these who often drowned could never die, transparent heretics, be burnt for liars. One fairer than my love, the all-seeing sun ne'er saw her match since first the world begun.
You saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal, scales let there be weighted, your lady's love against some other maid. That I will show you shining at this feast, and she shall scant show well that now seems best.
I'll go along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of mine own.
Nurse, where's my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Now by my maidenhead at 12-year-old, I bade her come. What, lamb? What, ladybird? God forbid, where's the girl? What, Juliet?
How now? Who calls?
Your mother.
Madam, I am here. What is your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou here's our counsel. Thou knowest my daughter's of a pretty age.
Oh, faith, I can tell her age into an hour.
She's not 14.
I'll lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teen be it spoken, I have but 4. She's not 14. How long is it now to Lammastide?
A fortnight and odd days.
Even or odd of all the days in the year, come Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God. She was too good for me. But as I said, on Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. That shall she. Ah, Mary, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake now 11 years, and she was weaned. I never shall forget it. Of all the days of the year, upon that day, for I had then laid the wormwood to my dug, sitting in the sun under the dove house wall. My lord and you were then at Mantua. Oh, nay, I do bear a brain. But as I said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my dug and felt it bitter, pretty fool, to see it tetchy and fall out with the dug. Shake, quoth the dove house. 'Twas no need, I trow, to bid me trudge. And since that time it is 11 years, for then she could stand high alone. Oh, now by the root, she could have run and waddled all about, for even the day before she broke her brow. And then my husband, oh, God be with his soul, he was a merry man, took up the child. Yes, quoth he, dost fall upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more wit, wilt thou not, Jewel? And by my holydom, the pretty wretch left crying and said, I. To see now how a jest shall come about. I warn, and I should live 1,000 years, I never should forget it. Wilt thou not, Jewel, quoth he, and pretty fool it stinted and cried, I.
Enough of this. I pray thee, hold thy peace.
Oh, yes, madam. Yet I cannot choose but laugh to think it should leave crying and say, I. And yet I warrant it had upon its brow a bump as big as a young cockerel stone. Oh, a perilous knock. And it cried bitterly, Yea, quoth my husband, fall'st upon thy face. Thou wilt fall backward when thou comest of age, wilt thou not, Jewel? It stinted and said, I.
And stint thou too, I pray thee, nurse. Say
Oh, peace, I have done. God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed, and I might live to see thee married once. I have my wish.
Marry. That marry is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honor that I dream not of.
An honor?
Honor.
Were not I thy only nurse, I would say thou hadst such wisdom at that tit.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you here in Verona, ladies of esteem, are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks for you his love.
Oh, a man, young lady. Oh, lady, such a man as all the world. Why, he's a man of wax.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he is a flower, in faith, a very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of young Paris' face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. Examine every married lineament, and see how one another's lends content. And what obscured in this fair volume lies, find written in the margin of his eyes. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover. Fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride, for fair without the fair within to hide. That book in many's eyes does share the glory, that in gold clasps, locks in the golden story. So shall you share all that he doth possess, by having him making yourself no less.
No less, nay, bigger. Women grow by men.
Speak briefly. Can you like a Paris love?
I'll look to like if looking liking move, but no more deep will I endart mine eye than your consent gives me strength.
Madam.
Why?
Madam, the guest, they are coming to supper. Served up, you called her my young lady. He asked for the nurse, cursed in the pantry, and everything in extremity. I must tend to it. I beseech you, follow me straight.
We follow thee. Juliet, the county stays.
Go, girl.
Scusi.
Seek happy night and happy days.
What shall this speech be spoke for our excuse, or shall we on without an apology?
The date is out of such prolixity. We'll have no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf, bearing a Tartar's painted bow of lath, or scaring the ladies like a crow keeper, nor no without book prologue faintly spoke after the prompter for our entrance. But let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure, and be gone.
Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Hey, little Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground I cannot move.
You're a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common ground.
I am too sore and pierced with this shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink in it, should you burden love, too great oppression is for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Oh, give me a case to put my visage in, a visor for a visor. What care I, what curious eye doth coat deformities? Here are the beetle brows shall blush for me.
Come knock and enter, and no sooner in, but every man betake him to his likes.
A torch for me. Let wanton light of heart tickle the senseless rushes with their heels. For I am proverbed with a grandsire phase. I'll be a candle holder and look on. The game was ne'er so fair, and I am done.
But done's the mouse, the constable's own word. If thou art done, we'll draw thee from the mire, or, save your reverence, love, wherein thou stickest up to the ears. Come, we burn daylight, how?
Hey, that's not so.
I need, sir, in delay. We waste our lights in vain. Light by day. Take our good meaning, for our judgment sits 5 times in that, ere once in our 5 wits.
And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis not wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamt a dream tonight.
And so did I.
Well, what was yours?
That dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep while they do dream things true.
Oh, then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. Well, she's the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomy over men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spinner's legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, the traces of the smallest spider web, her colors of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bone, a lash of film, her weaponer, a small gray-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut made by the joiner squirrel or old grub, time to mind the fairies' coachmakers. And in this state she gallops night by night through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. On his knees that dream on curtsies straight, or lawyer's fingers, who straight on dream of fees, or lady's lips, who straight on kisses dream, with of the angry mad with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweet meat tainted are. Sometimes she gallops for a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit, and sometimes comes she with a tied pig's tail tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep. Then he dreams of another benefice. Sometimes she driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then dreams he cutting foreign throats, breeches, ambuscados, Spanish blades of heaths 5 fathoms deep, and then a nun dropped in his ear, which he and waits, being frighted, swears a prayer or two and sleeps again. This is that very mad that plaits the manes of horses in the night and bakes the elf locks in foul sluttish hairs, which once untangled much misfortune bodes. This is the hag when maids lie on their backs that presses them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good courage.
Peace, peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talkest of nothing.
We talk of dreams. But vain fantasy, which is a bit of substance as the air, and more inconstant than the wind, who woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and being angered puffs away from thence, turning aside to the dew-dropping south.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done. We shall come too late.
I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequence yet hanging in the stars. Shall bitterly begin his fearful date with the night's revels, and expire the term of a despised life closest in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course, direct my sail on, lusty gentlemen.
Strike, drum.
I got this. Just pretend he's alive for the first time. Hey, where's the pot pan that he helps not to take away? No, he's yet a trencher. He's bribe a trencher.
When good manners shall lie all in one or 2 men's hands, and they unwashed too, 'tis a foul thing.
You know, away with the joint stools. Away with them. Remove. The court cupboard. Look to the plate. Look to the plate. You see. Save me a piece of the marzipan. You do that for me. You save me a piece of marzipan. And as thou loves me, let the porter let Susan Grindstone and Neil, Anthony and Parpan. Anthony and Parpan.
Ready. You are looked for and called for, asked for and sought for in the great chamber.
That's what I said, my lady. But we cannot be here and there too. Miss Goosey. But cheerly, boys. Cheerly. What's the last part of it? Be brisk a while. And long live the liver.
Welcome, gentlemen! Oh, ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will walk about with you. My mistresses, which of you all now will deny to dance? She that makes dainty, she, I swear, hath corns. Am I come near you now? Oh, welcome, gentlemen! I have seen the day that I have worn a visor and could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. 'Tis gone. 'Tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play! A hole, give room! Oh, and footed girls. Oh, more light, you knaves, and turn the tables up and quench the fire. The room has grown too hot. Sirrah, this unlooked-for sport comes well. Nay, sit. Nay, sit, my good cousin Capulet, for, you and I are past our dancing days. How long is it since last yourself and I were in a mask?
Hey, my lady, 30 years.
No, what, man, 'tis not so much. 'Tis not so much. No, 'tis since the nuptial of Lucenzo, come Pentecost as quickly as it will, some 25 years, and then we mask.
'Tis more. His son is elder. Elder's very much older.
You tell me that! His son was but a ward 2 years ago.
30.
What lady's that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?
I know not, sir.
Oh, she doth touch the torches to burn bright. Seems she hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows as yonder lady o'er her fellow shows. The measure is done. I'll watch her place of stand and touching hers, make blessed rude my hand. Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
This, by his voice, should be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy. What? Dares the slave come hither, covered with an antic face, to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now, by the stock and honour of my kin, to strike him dead, I hold it not a sin.
Why, how now, kinsman? Whither storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young, what, Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain Romeo.
Now content thee, gentle coz, let him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman. And to say truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and a well-governed youth. So I would not for the wealth of all this town here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore be patient. Take no note of him. It is my will, the which, if thou respects, shows a fair presence, and you show a fair presence, and put off these frowns. An ill beseeming semblance for a feast.
It fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. What? Goodman girl, I say he shall. Go to. Am I the master here or you? Go to! You'll not endure him. God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You'll set a cock-a-hoop. You'll be the man.
Why, uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go to! Go to! You are a saucy girl. Is it so indeed? This trick may chance to skeet you. I know what you must contrary me. Mercy! 'Tis time. Well said, my hearts. You are a coxcomb. Be quiet, or more light for shame. I'll make you quiet. Now what, Shirley? My hearts.
Patience perforce with willful choler meeting makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this: my lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hands too much. Which mannerly devotion shows in this? For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm in holy palmers kiss.
Have saints not lips? And holy palmers too?
I, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray. Grant thou, lest the faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not while my prayers effect I take. Thus from my lips be thine, my sin is purged.
Then have my lips by thine, my sin is purged. Oh, then have my lips the sin that they have took.
Sin from my lips? Oh, trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again.
You kissed by the book.
Madam,
your mother craves a word with you.
what is her mother?
Oh, married bachelor, her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talk withal. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the cheeks.
Capulet? Oh, dear Count, my life is foes dead.
Oh dear, excuse me. Away, be gone. The sport is at the best.
Aye, so I fear. More is my unrest.
Hey, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling, foolish banquet towards.
Is it even so? Well, then I thank you all. I thank you, honest gentlemen. Good night.
More torches here. Come on, come on.
Then let's to bed. Ay, Sarah, my fay, it waxes late. I'll to my rest.
Come hither, nurse. What is yon gentleman? What is yon gentleman?
Oh, the son and heir of old Tiberio.
What's he that now is going out of door?
Oh, Mary, that I think be young Petruchio.
What's he that follows here, that would not dance?
I know not.
Go ask him his name. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed.
His name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen unknown, known too late. Oh, prodigious birth of love is it to me that I must love a loathed enemy?
What's this?
A rhyme I learned even now, of one I danced withal.
Anon, anon, come, let's away, the strangers are all gone.
Now old Desire doth in his deathbed lie, and young Affection gapes to be his heir. That fair for which love groaned for and would die, with tender Juliet matched, is now not fair. Now Romeo, beloved, and loves again. Alike, bewitched by the charm of looks, but to his foe supposed he must complain, and she steals love's sweet bait from fearful looks. Being held a foe, he may not have access to breathe such vows as lovers used to swear, and she is much in love, her means much lust to meet her new beloved anywhere. But passion lends them power, time means to meet, tempering extremities with extreme sweet.
Can I go forward when my
Now,
heart...
right off.
Can I go forward when my heart is here? Turn back, dull earth, and find thy center out.
Romeo! My cousin Romeo, Romeo!
He is wise, and on my life hath stolen him home to bed.
He ran this way and leapt this orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio.
Say, I'll conjure too. Romeo, humors, madman, a sigh. Speak what one rhyme, and I am satisfied. Cry but I me, pronounce but love and dove. To my goddess of Venus, one word, one nickname for her pure blind son and heir. Young Abraham Cupid, he that shot so trim when King Cophetua loved the beggar maid. He heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not. The ape is dead, and I must conjure him. I conjure thee by Rosalind's bright eyes, by her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh, and the domains that there adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou appear to us.
And if he hear thee, thou wilt anger him.
Anger him? Would anger him to raise a spirit in his mistress' circle of some strange nature, letting it there stand till she had laid it and conjured it down. That was some spite. My invocation is fair and honest. In his mistress' name, I conjure only, but to raise up him.
Come, he hath hid himself among these trees, to be consorted with the humorous night. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Now will he sit under a medlar tree and wish his mistress were that kind of fruit, as maids call medlars when they laugh alone. Oh, Romeo, that she were, oh, that she were an open arse, thou to pair. Romeo, good night. I'll to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go, then, for 'tis in vain to seek him here that means not to be found.
He jests at scars that never felt a wound. Soft, what light through yonder window breaks? Oh, it is the east. Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestial livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet She says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. No, I'm too bold. It's not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all of heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheeks would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eye in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head as his winged messenger of heaven, unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him. When he bestrides the lazy, puffing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not be, but scorn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What is a Montague? Is it nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face? Oh, be some other name belonging to a man. What is in a name? That which we call a rose by any other word, which smells as sweet. Though Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I'll never be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus be screened in night, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have yet not drunk 100 words of thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo, a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee 'tis like.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high enough and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for a stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no to stop me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look, thou, but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they see thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes, and but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than doth prorogued wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundest thou out this place?
By love, that first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou so as far as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I should adventure for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I've spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say, aye, and I will take thy word. Yet, if thou swearest, thou mayest prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. If thou thinkest I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay. So thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I'm too fond, and therefore thou mayest think my behavior light, but trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more coin to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheard it stare, I was ware my true love passion. Therefore, pardon me. I am not impute this yielding, and not impute this yielding to light love, and which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I vow that tips with silver all these fruit tree tops.
I swear not by the moon, the inconsistent moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all. If thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolarity, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love.
Well, I do not swear, though I joy in thee. I have no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Sweet. Good night. This bud of love by summer's ripened breath may prove a beauteous flower when we next meet. Good night. Good night. As sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
If I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank and give it thee again. Yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet.
Oh, I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse. Sweet Montague, stay but a little. I will come again.
Blessed night. I am a feared being in night. All this is but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
Three words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee, and where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam,
I come anon. But if thou meanest not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam.
By and by I come, to cease thy strife and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow I will send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes towards love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love towards school with heavy looks.
Hist, Romeo, hist. Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure this tassel gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud, else would I tear the cave which echo lies, and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine, without repetition of my Romeo.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lover's tongue by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo,
My dear,
shall I send to thee?
by the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 year till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll stay. I'll still stay to have thee still forget, forgetting any other home but this.
It's almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no farther than a wanton's bird that let it hop a little from its hand, like a poor prisoner in its twisted gyves, and with a silken thread plucks it back again, so lovingly jealous of his liberty.
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I. Yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be tomorrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were asleep, and peace so sweet to rest. Hence, I will go to my ghostly friar's closed cell, his help to crave, my dear hap to tell.
The gray-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light. In fleckle darkness like a drunkard reels from forth day's path in Titan's fiery wheels. Now, ere the sun advance his burning eye, the day to cheer and night's dank dew to dry, I must upfill this osier cage of ours with baleful weeds and precious juiced flowers. The earth that nature's mother is her tomb, what is her burying grave that is her womb? And from her womb, children of divers kind, we sucking on her natural bosom find, many for many virtues excellent, none but for some and yet all different. Oh, mickle is the powerful grace that lies in plants, herbs, stones, and their true qualities. For not so vile that on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give, nor aught so good but strain from that fair use revolts from true birth, stumbling unabused. Virtue itself turns vice, being misapplied, and vice sometime by action dignified. Within the infant rind of this sweet flower, poison hath residence and medicine power. For this, being smelt with that part, cheers each part, being tasted, stays all senses with the heart. Two such opposite kings encamp them still, in man as well as herbs, grace and rude will. And where the worser is predominance, full soon the canker death eats up that plant.
Good morrow, Father.
Ah, benedicity, what early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head, so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed? Care keeps his watch in every old man's eye, and where care lodges, sleep will never lie. But where unbruised youth with unstuffed brain doth couch his limbs, there golden sleep doth reign. Therefore thy earliness doth me assure thou art uproused with some discomfiture. Or, if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
Oh, that last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon sin. Wast thou with Rosaline?
With Rosalind, my ghostly father, no. I forgot that name and that name's woe.
That's good, my son. But where hast thou been then?
I tell thee ere thou ask it me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one hath wounded me that's by me wounded. But both are remedies within thy help, and holy physic lies. I bear no hatred, blessed man, for lo, my intersection likewise steads my foe.
Be plain, good son, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confession finds, but riddling shrift.
And plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined save what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy Saint Francis, what a change is here! Is Rosaline, that thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies, not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. Jesu Maria, what a deal of brine hath washed thy sallow cheeks for Rosaline? How much salt water thrown away in waste, to season love that of it doth not taste? The sun not yet thy sighs from heaven clears, thy old groans yet ringing in mine ancient ears. Lo, here upon thy cheek the stain doth sit of an old tear that is not washed off yet. If e'er thou wast thyself in these woes thine, thou in these woes were all for Rosaline. And art thou changed? Pronounce this sentence then. Women may fall when there's no strength in men.
Thou chidest me oft for loving Rosalind.
For doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
Ah, and badst me bury love.
Not in the grave to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, chide me not. Her I love now doth grace for grace and love for love allow. The other did not so.
No, she knew well, thy love did read by rote that could not spell. But come, young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect, all thy assistant be. For this alliance may so happy prove, to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence. I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight?
Not to his father's. I spoke with his man.
That same pale, hard-hearted wench. That Rosaline torments him so that he will shortly be mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman to old Capulet, hath sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge on my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Any a man that can write may answer a letter.
Nay, he will answer the letter's master, how he dares, being dared.
Alas, poor Romeo, he is already dead. Stabbed with a white witch's black eye, run through the ear with a love song, the very pin of his heart, left with the blind bow-boy's butt shaft. And is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why, what is Tybalt?
More than a prince of cats. Oh, the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing crick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion. He rests his minim rest, 1, 2, and the third in your bosom. The very puncture of a silk button, a duelist, a gentleman of the very first house of the first and second cause. Ah, the immortal passado, the punto reverso, the...
What?
Such antic, lisping, affecting phantasms, these new turners of accent. Oh, Jesu, a very good blade, very tall man, very good whore. Why, is not this a lamentable thing, grandsire, that we should be thus afflicted with these strange flies, these fashion mongers, these pardonnez-mois, who stand so much on the new form that they squeeze on the old bench? Oh, their bones.
Here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo. Huh?
With his string, with his roe like a dried herring. Flesh, how art thou fishified? Now is he for the numbers that Petrarch flowed in. Laura to his lady was a kitchen wench. Marry, she had a better love to berhyme her. Dido, a dowdy. Cleopatra, a gypsy. Linen hero, hildings and harlots. Thisbe, a grey eye or so, but not to the purpose. There's a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir. The slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio, my business was great, and in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much as to say, such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hands.
Meaning to curtsy.
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
A most courteous exposition. Pink for flower.
Right.
Oh, why then is my pump well flowered?
Your wit has worn out my pump. So when a single minute is worn, the jest may remain. After the wedding, solely singular.
Oh, single soul, just solely singular for the singleness.
BENVOLIO.
Switch and spurs, or I'll cry a match.
Run the wild goose chase. Oh, I'm done. For thou hast more of the wild goose in one of thy wits than I am sure I have in my whole 5. You there for the goose?
Thou wast never with me for anything when thou wast not there for the goose.
Well, takes me by the ear for that jest.
Nay, good goose, bite not.
Thy wit is a very bitter sweeting. It is most sharp.
And is it not then well swerved into a sweet goose?
What several stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad.
I stretch it out for that word broad, which added to the goose proves thee far and wide a broad goose.
I'm better now than groaning for love. Now art thou sociable, now art thou Romeo. Now art thou what thou art. By art as well as by nature, for this shriveling roughness like a great natural that runs lolling up and down the height as bauble in a hole.
Stop there, stop there.
Does God desire me to stop in my tail against the hair?
Thou wouldst else have made thy tail large.
Oh, thou art deceived. I would have made it short, for I was come to the whole depth of my tale, and meant indeed to occupy the argument no longer.
Well, here's goodly gear. A sail! A sail!
Short and a smock.
Peter?
None.
My fan, Peter.
But thee to our face, for her fan's a fairer face.
God you good morrow, gentlemen.
God you good evening, fair gentlewoman.
Is it good evening?
No less, I tell you, for the body hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
Out upon you. What a man, what a woman are you?
One gentlewoman that God had made himself to mar.
By my troth, it is well said, for himself to mar, quoth he. Gentlemen, can either of you tell me where I may find young Romeo?
I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name for fault of a worse.
You say well.
Yea, is the worst well? Very well took, faith, wisely, wisely.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
She will indict him to some supper.
God, God, oh.
What hast thou found?
No hair, sir, unless a hair, sir, in a Lenten pie that is something stale and hoar ere it be spent. Old hair whore and an old hair whore is very good meat in Lent. But a hairless whore is too much for a score when it whores ere it be spent. Romeo, will you come to your father's? Will to dinner thither?
I will follow you.
Farewell, ancient lady. Farewell, lady.
I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his roguery?
A gentleman, nurse, that loves to hear himself talk, and will speak more in a minute than he will stand into in a month.
And he speak anything against me, I'll take him down. And he were lustier than she is, and 20 such jacks. And if I cannot, I'll find those that can. Scurvy knave. I'm none of her flirt gills. I'm none of her skein mates. And thou must stand by too and suffer every knave to use me at her pleasure.
I saw no person use you at their pleasure. If I had, my weapon should quickly have been out. I warrant you, I dare draw as soon as another person if I see occasion in a good quarrel and the law be on my side.
Now, for God, I'm so vexed that every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave. Pray you, sir, sit a word. And as I told you, my young lady bid me inquire you out. What she bid me say, I'll keep to myself. But first let me tell you, if you should lead her in a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say. For the gentlewoman is young, And therefore, if you should deal double with her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee that...
Up, good heart, and if faith I'll tell her as much. Lord, she'll be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, nurse? Thou dost not mark me.
I'll tell her, sir, that you do protest, which I take it is a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon, and there she shall at Friar Lawrence cell be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains.
Oh no, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir? Well, she shall be there.
And stay, good nurse, behind the abbey wall. Within this hour, my man shall be with thee and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to the high top gallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell. Be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell. Commend me to thy mistress.
Now, God in heaven bless you. Oh, hark you, sir.
What sayest thou, my dear nurse?
Is your man secret? Did you ne'er hear say, two may keep counsel, putting one away?
Warrant thee, my man's as true as steel.
Well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady. Lord, it was a little prating thing. Well, there's a nobleman in town, one Paris, that would fain lay knife aboard, but she, good soul, had as lief see a toad, a very toad, as see him. I anger her sometimes and tell her that Paris is the properer man, but I'll warrant you when I say so, she looks as pale as any cloud in the versal world. Oh, doth not Rosemary and Romeo begin with one letter?
Aye, nurse, what of that? Both with an R.
Oh, Mucker, that's the dog's name. R for the... No. I know it begins with some other letter. Well, and she has the prettiest sententious wit of it. You and Rosemary, that it would do you good to hear it.
Commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times. Peter?
Anon.
Before and apace.
The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Pretends she cannot meet him. That's not so. She is lame. Love's herald should be thoughts, which 10 times faster glides than the sun's beams, dragging back shadows over luring hills. Therefore do nimble point-pinioned dove straw love, and therefore hath the wind's swift Cupid wings. Now is the sun upon the highmost hill of this day's journey, and from 9 till 12 is 3 long hours. Yet she is not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and 'tis to me. But old folks, many fiend as they were dead, unwieldly slow, heavy and pale as lead. Oh, God, she comes. Oh, honey nurse, what's news? Hast thou met with him? Send thy man away.
Peter, stay at the gate.
Now, good sweet nurse. Oh, Lord, why lookest thou sad? Thou news be sad, yet them merrily. If good, thou shamest the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
I am a-weary. Give me leave a while. Oh, fie, how my bones ache. What a jaunt I've had.
I would thou hadst my bones, and I thy news. Now come, I pray thee, speak. Good nurse, speak.
Jesu, what haste! Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I'm out of breath?
How art thou out of breath when thou hast breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Answer to me that. Say either and I'll stay the circumstance. Let me be satisfied. Isn't good or bad?
Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man. Romeo? No, not he. Though his space be better than any man's, yet his leg excels all men's. And for a hand and a foot and a body, though they're not to be talked on, yet they're past compare. Is not the flouter of courtesy, but I'll warrant him as gentle as a lamb. Go thy way, wench, serve God. What, have you dined at home?
Oh, no, but all this did I know before. What says of he of our marriage? What of that?
Oh, Lord, how my head aches. What a head have I. It beats as it would fall in 20 pieces. Oh, my back on the other side. Oh, my back. Beshrew your heart for sending me about to catch my death with jaunting up and down.
Faith, I'm sorry that thou art not well. Sweet nurse, tell me, what says my love?
Your love says, like an honest gentleman, and courteous, and kind, and handsome, and I warrant a virtuous. Where's your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says, like an honest gentleman, where is your mother?
Oh, God's lady dear, are you so hot? Mary, come up, I trow. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforth do your messages yourself.
Okay, here's such a coil. Come, what says Romeo?
Have you got leave to go to shrift today?
I have.
Then hie you to Friar Lawrence' cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Oh, now comes the wanton blood up in your cheeks. There'll be scarlet straight at any news. Oh, hie you to church. I must another way to fetch a ladder by the which your love must climb a bird's nest soon when it is dark. Oh, I am the drudge and toil in your delight, but you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go, I'll to dinner. Hie you to the cell.
Hie to high fortune. Honest nurse, farewell.
So smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Amen. Amen. But come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love-devouring death do what he dare. It is enough I may call but her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die, like fire and powder, which as they kiss consume. The sweetest honey is loathsome in his own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore, love moderately. Long love doth so, too swift arrives as tardy as too slow. Here comes the lady. Oh, so light a foot will ne'er wear out the everlasting flint. A lover may bestride the gossamers that idles in the wanton summer air, and yet not fall, so light is vanity.
Good, even to my ghostly confessor.
Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both.
As much to him, else is his thanks too much.
Ah, Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blazon it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbor air, and let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either by this dear encounter.
Conceit, more rich in matter than in words, brags of his substance, not of an ornament. But they are but beggars that can count their worth. But my true love is grown to such excess, I cannot sum up the half of my wealth.
Come with me, and we will make short work, for by your leaves you shall not stay alone, till Holy Church incorporate 2 in 1.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, and the capels are abroad. And if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl. For now, these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
You are like one of those fellows that when he enters the confines of a tavern, see his sword upon a table and says, God, send me no need of thee. And by the operation of the second cup, draws him on the drawer when indeed there is no need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Thou art as prophet Jack in thy mood as any in Italy, and as soon moved to be moody, and as soon moody to be moved.
And what two?
Nay, and there were 2 such, we should have none shortly, for one would kill the other. Thou, why, thou wilt quarrel with a man that has a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast. Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts. No other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes. Right? Such an eye would spy out such a quarrel. Thy head is as full of quarrels as an egg is full of meat, and yet thy head hath been beaten as an egg for quarreling. Thou hast quarreled with a man for coughing in the street because he hath wakened thy dog that had lain asleep in the sun. Didst thou not fall out with a tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter? For tying his new shoes with an old ribbon. Thou wilt tutor me from quarreling.
And I were so apt to quarrel as thou art, any man should buy the fee simple of my life for an hour and a quarter.
No, simple?
By my head, here comes the Capulets.
Oh. By my heel, I care not.
Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good e'en, a word with one of you.
And but one word with one of us. Couple it with something. Make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir, and you will give me occasion.
Would you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, that thou consortest with Romeo.
Sort. Thou make minstrels, and thou make minstrels of us. Look to hear nothing but discords. Here's my fiddle stick. Here's that shall make you dance. Yeah.
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw unto some private place, or reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze upon us.
Men's eyes were made to look, let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure eye.
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
I'll be hanged, sir, if he wear your livery. All right. Go before to field. He'll be your follower. Your worship, in that sense, may call him.
Romeo, the love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none. Therefore, farewell. See thou knowest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me. Therefore, turn and draw.
I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love. And so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as mine own, be satisfied.
Dishonorable, martial submission. A staccato carries it away. You rats, Thatcher will you walk.
What wouldst thou have with me?
Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives that I mean to make bold withal. And as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8. Look, you pluck your sword out of his pilcher by the ears. Make haste, lest mine be about your ears ere it be out.
I am for you.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come to your passado.
Drop, Benvolio, beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage. Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince expressly hath forbid this bandying in Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt, good Mercutio!
Away, Tybalt.
What art thou hurt?
Scratchberry, 'tis enough. Where's my page going? Surgeon.
Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much.
No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church. Nor, but 'tis enough. Will serve. Tomorrow, when you will find me a great man. And what I wanted in this world. From both your houses.
I thought all for the best. I thought all for the best.
Benvolio, or I shall faint.
This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got this mortal hurt in my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt, that an hour hath been my cousin. Oh, sweet Juliet, my beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper soft and valiant steel.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo. The brave Mercutio is dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds, which too ultimately here did scorn the earth. Huh?
This day's black fate on more days both depend. This but begins the woe others must end.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
Alive in triumph, and Mercutio slain! Way to heaven, respective lenity, and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again. That late thou gavest me for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep mine company. Either thou or I, or both must go with him.
Thou wretched boy that didst consort him here, shalt with him hence.
This shall determine that.
Romeo, away! Begone! The citizens are up and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed. The prince will doom thee death if thou art taken hence. Begone away!
I am fortune's fool.
Why dost thou stay?
Which way ran he that killed Mercutio? Tybalt, that murderer. Which way ran he?
There lies Tybalt.
Up, sir. Go with me. I charge thee in the prince's name, obey.
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
O noble prince, I can discover all. The unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man, slain by young Romeo, that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Tybalt, my cousin, oh, my brother's child, oh, prince, oh, cousin, husband, oh, the blood is spilled of my dear kinsman. Prince, as thou art true, for blood of ours shed blood of Montague. Oh, cousin, cousin.
Benvolio, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt, here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair bid him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged with all your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees hemily bound, and could not take truce with the untruly spleen of Tybalt. Death to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, and who all as hot turns deadly point to point, and with a martial scorn, and with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold friends, friends part, and swifter than his tongue, his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio, and then Tybalt fled. But by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning, for ere I could draw to part them was stout Tybalt slain. And as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, and or let Benvolio die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew her. She slew Mercutio. Who now the price of her dear blood doth owe?
Not Romeo, prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes with the law should end the life of Tybalt.
And for that offense, Immediately we do exile him hence. I have an interest in your heart's proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. But I'll amerce you with so strong a fine that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses, nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses. Therefore use none. Let Romeo hence in haste. Else, when he is found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body and attend our will. Mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill.